Hey there, hope everyone's doing good. I know it's been a little while. Always gets a little crazy before the Chagim. And also there's some videos that I made, but I guess the file's too big, so I couldn't turn them into audio. But Bezrat Hashem will get there one day if I get help from someone. So I can't do it on my own. So just maybe a few little things on Pesach. Rav Natan says that every single holiday, you know, we draw, there's a different light that's coming down, and on depending on the holiday, what amount of light, what is coming down, that's the wine that you drink, right? We always begin the Yom Tov, we go into Shabbos, we go into the holidays, we're always going in, we're starting off with this cup of wine. And the reason why is because one reason is that the wine is like sod, is secret. It has this, mamish, the secret from within it. Like I mentioned on the video I sent out, that the yain, wine you write is yain. It's kos yain, right? Kos kiddush. So the kos is the 86, which is the whole thing we said on Torah Aleph, which is the chet and the nun, 58, and plus you connect between those, that chet and nun, which is the heart and the mind. You connect between them through the learning Torah b'koyach. This Torah in koyach, which is in potential of koyach. I'm not going to get into it. We expanded on that in one of the lessons. And so the 28 and the 50 and the 58 is together 86, which is the numerical value of kos, which is the cup. And the yain is the two little yuds and then a nun sofit. The two little yuds correspond to the Torah and the tefillah, right? The Torah is like the 10 commandments and the 10 sayings that Hashem said when He created the world. But the keeping of them, right, that a person will be able to hang on to that and keep it, is always he has to remember the second yud, which is the melody, the song that Hashem sang, that song of Azamra, which is that song that when a person remembers that tiny little mitzvah, that tiny little yud of the tzaddik, he remembers that little good deed that he did, through that a person could really draw down life into all the Torah, not just into where he's doing good and flying, but also in the things where he's falling and he's having a difficult time keeping the Torah. So in those parts of the Torah you need to keep as well. And the only way to keep them is to tap into that second little yud, which is the yud of the melody, the yud of the song, the prayer. So those two yuds, right, is also two little yuds, is Hashem's name. And then the last one of the yain, of the word wine, so it's yud yud, and then a long nun sofit. So the nun sofit is also another little yud at the top, but then it's drawn down, mamish, not just to the heart, which is the vav, but all the way down to the malchut. So it's really reunifying and the mind with the 6 sefirot of the body, and then going all the way down to the malchut. So that's yain. That's why it's numerical value of 70, which is sod, which is secret. So that's the wine, and every time a person drinks wine on the holidays, he's drinking it in order to mamish open up expand the vessels of his mind to be able to receive the light of the holiday that's coming down. So Rav Natan says, because on Pesach it was a really, really big light, so we have these 4 cups, because a person needs, in different stages, but it's like 4 cups, and these 4 cups are like fixing, there's 4, Rav Nachman brings, there's 4 different types of speech that a person, when a person speaks, there's 4 different ways to fix the speech. One of them is called a speech of tzedakah. It's a speech where a person, mamish, is just, because that's the advantage that a person has on animals, that a person is gomel chasadim, that he mamish does tzedakah and chesed and kindness with his fellow friend, with himself, judges himself favorably. He's always doing tzedakah, he's giving. Right, that's the being in the image of Hashem, of just being this matzdik. So that's one speech, is when a person speaks with his lips, always tzedakah. The second level of speech is the speech of tshuva. These are 4 different ways that a person could fix the speech, which means fix his kingdom. Because we said you run your entire being, your business, your house, your whatever, the country, right? You run it with the speech. The speech is the fixing of the kingdom of Hashem and your own personal kingdom. So the second fixing of the speech is called the speech of tshuva, where, like it says, K'chu imachem dvarim veshuvu el Hashem, take with you dvarim, words, right? Take with you all the sins, all your falls, everything you're having a hard time with, and just bring them before Hashem. So that's like bringing before Hashem these words of things you're falling and having a hard time with, because your ultimate, goal in that is to tshuva, which is to get close to Hashem and reunify between your mind and your heart. The third fixing of the speech is the speech of ashirut, of wealth, right? There's a type of people who have wealth and have money. You can tell the Reb Natan says they have like a type of a power from within their speech. Someone who's poor, he's sitting on the side, he doesn't talk too much, but someone who's like, the head of the company walks in, he's like bossing everybody around, he has this like type of a powerful speech. So that's the dibur of ashirut, right? And obviously we're talking about, this is the example I gave is talking about somebody with a business or physical wealth, but obviously we're talking about spiritual wealth. When a person has spiritual wealth, so his, when he stands up and he gives over Torah or advice to people and that, his speech is with a very strong, and because he has this, it's called speech of wealth, because of this wealth that he has. And the fourth level of fixing of the speech, so that third level basically means that a person, through attaining more da'at and wisdom of the Torah and of life and everything, and through that he develops this speech of wealth, which means it's a fixing of the speech. It's like a type of a malchut, but it's not malchut, it's ashirut, it's like riches. I don't quite understand the third one properly. The fourth one is dibur of malchut, which is the all the words you use out of your mouth to reveal that there's one God in the world, and to reveal that oneness of God from within your own being, right? So that's the fourth level, and these 4 cups that we have of wine that we have on Pesach are to fix these 4 different types of speech, which all correspond to the 4 different lashonot, words, sayings of redemption that Hashem used. V'ga'alti v'otzeti, right? V'abeti. I don't remember all 4 of them. I don't have them in front of me, but there's 4 different lashonot, words that Hashem used to redeem us from Egypt, and that's what the 4 cups correspond to. So it's like drawing down this, not just expanding our vessels of our mind to be able to receive this higher light that's coming down on Pesach, but also to really draw down, because the light is always from within our yudke, from within your neshama, from within your mind. You always have that light, but to be able to really draw it down and bring it into your Egypt, right, into your being, right. So that's what the yain is, the secret of these 2 little yuds and the nun, and drawing down this life. So the wine, yain mamish, has this power from within it, the secret to be able to draw down this wind of life into your whole being, and mamish expand your mind and bring that light of your mind into your whole body. And it also obviously corresponds to the 4 different suns. And then there's the matzah, the matzahs correspond to the da'at, the moichin and the da'at, right? Fixing your chokhmah, your bina, and the main fixing is the da'at, where you're drawing down that chokhmah and bina, the knowledge and the understanding, and then the real da'at, which is the wisdom, right? The real wisdom. Like da'at, again, I mentioned it once, but just again, da'at is when a person really feels and lives the oneness of Hashem, and realizes that, like mamish, everything is the oneness of Hashem in the creation. Everything, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the shleimut, the oneness of Hashem is like Reb Nachman goes over it almost in every Torah that I've seen so far. He, it points out this point of like serving Hashem in all of the pathways, right? How does it say? Yesharim darchei Hashem, like he brought in the first Torah, right? Straight are the pathways, in plural, are the pathways of Hashem. So he's always bringing this idea, showing that there's 2 different pathways. There's the pathway of the Torah, the mitzvah of doing certain things, keeping things, the things I do right, and then there's the pathway of when I'm crashing and I'm falling, I'm doing things wrong, and I'm not holding things I should be holding, right? But mamish, to remember that that's all oneness, and that's also part of Hashem, and Hashem's putting you through these tests and taking you down these alleyways so that you fall in those things, right? And you have a test and you fall, yeah, it would be great and awesome if you could overcome it, but we don't a lot of the times, right? And to be able to continue serving Hashem and realizing that Hashem is bringing you down that place, and Hashem is bringing you over there to go through what you need to go through and come out the other side full of simcha and full of joy, and realizing that as long as I stay the son of the king and I'm still besimcha and I'm happy, no matter what pathway Hashem takes me down, then I'm still serving Hashem. Even if it's in a field, you're serving Hashem, you're doing something against the Torah, yeah, I'm still serving Hashem. As long as a person takes that fall that he goes through, right, and tries his best to overcome whatever he could, right, he tries his best, but he falls, and he goes through that fall and comes right out the other side stronger, right, happy and besimcha, and he has his little time a day where he does his cheshbon nefesh, and he tells Hashem what it is that he fell in, or what he's having a hard time with, what he wants help to overcome, and so on, right? He does that little bit, and the rest of the time he's happy, right? He still stays the son of the king. He doesn't fall from his place. That's a person, Reb Nachman says, this is mamash, a servant of Hashem, right? He says in Torah Vav, Reb Nachman says, the whole secret of Chodesh Elul, of the secret of tshuva, right, is ani ledoidi v'doidi li. That I am to Hashem and Hashem is to me. So he says, ani ledoidi is ratzo. When a person is running and flying, he's to Hashem, he's ledoidi, right? He's running, everything is great. V'doidi li, when is Hashem to me? When does Hashem come down to me? When a person is vashov, when he's in his down, when he's in his fall, when he's going mamish down and he's having a hard time, and he can't keep Torah and mitzvahs. He's just, the situation he's in or whatever it is, he keeps falling, he can't overcome it. So he's in a state of vashov. But at that place when he's in vashov, when he's in his fall, it's the doidili, that Hashem is there with you. Right? When I'm in the lowest place, Hashem is right there with me. And that's the secret of getting close to Hashem and being able to serve Hashem in all pathways. Not just in the pathways when everything's going great. That's cute and sweet, but that doesn't make Hashem it doesn't, make any ruckus in Shamayim, in the heavens, when a person's doing great. If anything, it's a dangerous time. But when a person is falling, that is when everybody's mamish looking, like the angels, everybody's looking, Hashem's looking. Is he going to do it? Is he going to overcome this one? Is he going to come out the other side, be besimcha, and say, I'm looking at my essence and I want to be good, and I know in my essence I want to do the ratzon of Hashem, but I fell because I'm human, because I have a physical body, and so on. And he comes right out the other side with simcha. This is coming out of Egypt. So mamish, we should be zaycha to come out of Egypt, go into this. First of all, go into Pesach. It's very important to go in besimcha. I know probably in Israel people are going in soon. It's important to remember the fixing of chametz, right? Clearing out the chametz is, you have to get rid of chametz from within your mind. There's this physical chametz, right? There's the Torah and tefillah, the mind and the heart, right? So there's the cleaning out the physical chametz, right? Which is cleaning out the house and going into the bags and everything, right? And then there's remembering to tap into the spiritual chametz. And the main spiritual chametz is the chametz of the mind, is when a person lets that, God forbid, lets that tape of the rasha, of the evil person, play from within his mind and put him down and make himself knock himself for the things that he falls in, and you're not worthy, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should really walk around with your head down and sad for the next month for that sin you did, right? That's the tape of the other side, right? So that's mamish the chametz. And it's important to remember, because all these physical things, all the physical mitzvahs that Hashem gave us, they're simply in order for our neshama to be able to tap into that spiritual light when we go up to the next world. It's all physical garments of this very, very, very high spiritual light. So the spiritual light of this chametz, what it's coming to teach us is mamish to keep away that tape of that rasha and only eat matzah. Matzah is mamish. It's like on Pesach you eat matzah. Matzah is like it's the food of angels. It says the bread we took out of Egypt, it was like Ta'amu b'im ta'aman. We tasted the taste of manna from within that bread we took out of Egypt. So it's mamish like this taste of this tzaddik, when a person just is thinking good and speaking good and seeing good and only has this positive thinking from within his mind. That's mamish eating the matzah, right? And getting rid of this chametz, right? So that's what the most important thing is, to tap into that. And if a person has that tape of the tzaddik playing from within him, always looking at his good and justifying himself and never ever ever putting himself down or finding things that he did bad, because even the time that he takes and puts aside to go and speak to Hashem about what he's having a hard time with, even those things he needs to find from within those sins that he mentions before Hashem. He needs to find a point of good and judge himself favorably in the whole thing. Never ever judge himself in the other way. And when a person does that, imamish, there's no judgments up top in heaven. When the other side tries to bring any decrees or anything that a person did wrong up before the heavenly court, they say, Hashem says, it says in the Gemara, right? Yesh din lamata and din lamala. They say, what do you want? This case is over already. The guy already spoke about it, brought it, said, apologize, done. It's over. We judge the whole thing favorably. He's out of it. Why are you bringing it before me? They're doing a barbecue right outside the window here. Anyhow, so very important, right, to have that tape of tzaddik playing and always justifying yourself and always finding the good and going through that, mamish, taking that into Pesach, into the Seder, and coming in and approaching the Seder with this cup of wine and going through this whole process of just speaking and revealing this redemption. And if a person notices and pays attention closely to the whole mahalach of the Seder, he'll see that it's all talking around this inyan of this little yud, this little tzaddik, that Hashem was always looking in Egypt at that tiny little point of good from within Am Yisrael. And He redeemed us and saved us and did all these miracles and everything just to save that little bit of good. Hashem's always looking at that little yud of the tzaddik. We need to look at the yud of the tzaddik and remember that our whole entire redemption of our being, of our life, everything, living a peaceful life, Mashiach, mamish, to come to your Mashiach, to your full redemption of your kingdom on a personal level and the kingdom of the entire world, revealing Hashem's kingdom in the world, all is going to depend on this fixing of the speech of the tzaddik. That's why Chazal said that the whole world stands on one pillar called Tzaddik Yesod Olam, because that's mamish, the pillar that the entire redemption of this whole world depends on. It's a fixing of the speech, these 4 different levels of speech we brought, right, which is tzedakah, that a person always justifies himself and does chesed with his own neshama, right, just does charity with himself by judging himself favorably and always judging others favorably, doing chesed with them. Tshuva, to always find that, take that little bit of time and just throw out to Hashem. Hashem knows already, but just tell Him, Hashem, this is what it is, this is what I fell in, say it, bring it into words, say this is what it is, and I'm having a hard time with it, please help me out, and find always that little nekuda of mitzvah, of good thing from within it, why you're not chayav, and don't ever put yourself down. The dibur of ashirut, right, of whatever that one, the speech of ashirut, those who are close to the malchut, close to the kingdom, and the dibur of malchut, which is always using your mouth as much as possible to reveal godliness from within the world. The same way Yosef HaTzadik, it says, Shem Shamayim Shagur Al Piv, that he always had in Mitzrayim all those years in Egypt, he mamash had Hashem's name was always on his lips. Baruch Hashem, Bezat Hashem, always trying to use positive words. And it's so important because I see people here suffering so much. This last week I was working with someone, and mamish, they just, unfortunately, just from years and years of being used to it, just always speaking negative and speaking bad and not speaking, and just I worked with him for a week. He was doing a little plumbing for my project that I was doing, and he was suffering so much, so many things happened in that 1 week to this person, and I knew the whole time, and I spoke to him about it a little bit, but I knew that it's all because he's mamish drawing down in his speech, he's drawing and creating this reality in his physical life in front of his eyes. So it's so important for a person on his personal level to fix his own being, his own little kingdom, his family, his circle, and then through that, when a person starts doing it and realizing it's not about doing all these difficult things and learning so much, and it's just about fixing the speech. It's mamish, the redemption of Am Yisrael is going to depend on this simple thing of fixing the speech. These 4 different levels of speech: tzedakah, justifying; tshuva, doing that vidui every day; speech of ashirut, of wealth. Well, one day we'll get to that. I'm not sure what it is, and then the speak of malchut, of just as much as possible to speak words on your mouth of just revealing that there's the oneness of Hashem in the world. And that's what the whole Seder is going to be, is just revealing Hashem's oneness. That oneness of Hashem didn't send an angel or any sort of division. It was just mamish the oneness of Hashem coming down and taking us out, right? Taking you out of that Egypt that you're in. But all you have to do is tap into that oneness by just speaking that oneness on your lips, speaking that positive speech. And Bezat Hashem will be able to mamish drink the wine and take it, where it's supposed to go. Every cup you drink is supposed to really take you to another higher level till you get towards the end and you have that cup on the Hallel, and you just Hallel. Rashi says that all all the songs and praises and goodness of everything is all included from within Hallel. The Olam Haba and the days of Mashiach and Latid Lavo, it's all included from within Hallel. And when you get to the Hallel, it's supposed to be like beyond, like just singing, and it should be the most beautiful, and Nishmat Kol Chai, and Zat Hashem, it should be the highest Pesach. And I'm sorry for such a long break in between. I just had this project and a lot going on. It gets crazy before Pesach, but it should be an amazing, amazing high Chag, filled with simcha, just going into the Chag with lots of joy and simcha, and not being careful not to get into little things with the kids and yelling at them, and just try your best to do whatever you need to do, just to try be besimcha and see the positive from within them, and remember their kids. What could you do? The last thing you want to do is draw down any sort of negativity or yelling and fighting at the Seder. And if you do, it's also okay, because you're human and it's fine, and you keep moving a second later like nothing happened. We should have the highest Seder, and we should just go in mamish into the Chol HaMoed, and from there into the year. It should be a real Geula coming out of that Egypt, B'ezrat Hashem. Love you all. Have the highest Chag. Take care.